Welcome back, baby. Woo! Yo,
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Coming off a tough loss, it's a little
Thanos.
somber in the household, a
Thanos
little
goes down.
little depressing. I got too high on my horses, man. That was the problem. Is the confidence was at an all-time high last week, and then we got the injury to Devin HN. That's just karma in action right there.
Oh my gosh, man. Seriously, I was watching your game. We were both in close battles, man. We both
Yeah,
were like I won by point no, by 3 yards. I think I won my matchup by 3 yards.
yeah.
Uh that was freaking insane, man. I pulled it out though. Happy to pull it out. Sorry, Punch. The only uh well, he's undefeated, but the other way around. I don't know what the word is for
The
that.
only
I guess
all
he's
defeated team,
the all defeated
winless.
team,
Winless is what we commonly say.
winless, baby. But man, I mean, I don't even know where to start right now. We're heading into week 6 now. Is this week 6?
Yeah, week 6, we got a big difference between the pack is starting to thin out near the top is what it is, man. There's a couple of 4-1 teams, couple of 3-2 teams, which we'll get into in league talk, but there's a clear difference between the top class teams and the lowest class teams in our league.
Yeah, and so I mean 6 weeks we're almost halfway. Crazy to think about. Next week is going to be the exactly halfway point for our 14 league 14 regular season, 14 games before we start, heading into playoffs, but already halfway through, man. This is crazy. So, with that being said, we're going to kick this off with have you seen this ish like we always do? And
Yes,
then
sir.
we got a special first round redraft segment, ladies and gentlemen. First 10 picks. Me and Mark are going to go back and forth. We'll decide who gets the first pick, and
Yep.
we'll swap and see what the draft looks like right now, man. Because it's a lot different than 6 weeks ago. So, yeah, man. Let's get it started with the classic. Have you seen this ish?
Have you seen this ish commish? I know our boy Tyler, who's a loyal listener, saw this ish, gave it a try. The new McDonald's Chicken Mac, the Chicken Big Mac by our boy Kai Sanat. Have you seen this ish commish? Do you want to try the Chicken Big Mac?
Man, I have to try it, but I will not try it sober. I will not try this thing sober. I got to be like loaded or off the volcano for this. I just know if I try it sober, it probably won't be as great, with a couple brews in there. But
I think you need like 20 milligrams deep to get this thing going, and it's gonna pop off. Early reports from Ty and the other people I know who've had it, the chicken, because I know a lot of our listeners are wondering, what is the chicken like inside the Chicken Mac? Is it more like a spicy McChicken, an old fan favorite, if you will? We used to get those for $1 in high school during basketball practice. Is it like that, or is it more like the Chicken McNugget? Just a absolute classic, a legend in the fast food game. Early reports are, Kamish, that the patty for the Chicken Mac is very similar to the Chicken McNugget. To me, that
ooh,
hypes me up. That put me over the line. I gotta try that this weekend.
a big like two big ass nuggets, pretty much with
Yep,
sauce.
that's the reports.
I mean, put me on. Are they putting cheese on this thing too, or is it
It's
just
got
strictly?
yeah. We still got the classic Big Mac toppings, right? So you got the Big Mac sauce. You're gonna have 3 buns in there, like you do on the Big Mac. One in the middle. You have 2 patties and 2 slices of cheese, along with the shredded lettuce and onion. I mean, this thing, it's already got
Yeah,
my mouth watering, man. I
yeah,
gotta
man.
try that.
Yeah, I'm grabbing this after the Dodger game tomorrow. I think, man. I'm for sure grabbing this on the way home, or like around there, because that sounds
A little
amazing.
celebration chicken mac or a depression chicken mac,
Yeah,
depending on how it goes tomorrow.
either or, because during the holiday season, like I don't really mess with McDonald's as much anymore. I mean, back in the day, I used to like heavy. That's when I was, heavy, heavy. But nowadays, the only time I really mess with McDonald's really is like during the holiday season when the McRib is back, baby. That's my
I knew
time.
you were gonna say that. There's another all time classic. Big McRib fanfare in our group chat. I mean, you're a big McRib guy. Ty's a big McRib guy. I'm a big McRib guy. Can't wait for that to return.
Yeah, man. This next, have you seen this ish? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, have you seen this Ish Kamish? This is one I think. Shout out to our boy Ponch on this one because many of you who follow Ponch saw him at Game 4 of the Dodgers game, chugging the bat of beer at the Dodgers game after that great win. Congrats to all our Dodgers fans out there. But Ponch posted a video of him chugging out of a bat and taking a swing. And now Japan's trying to do the opposite here, Kamish. They're trying to hate on our boy Ponch by this new glass that doesn't even let you chug.
Yeah, dude, I wish I could post a video. Like, I wanted to post a video really bad, but I'm not sure how the whole copyright thing works with YouTube. I know one time we posted a video of something and we got like muted, and then I had to like panic last second and get that cut out. But anyway, the video for this is is hilarious, bro. Like, you're getting like droplets, like
It makes chugging impossible. And I think, as the only lawyer in the league, I'm gonna have to maybe pursue a discrimination case against this glass maker on behalf of Ponch because this is ludicrous, man. There's no way you could drink a beer like these clowns. It would take like an hour to finish one
yeah.
Bud Light.
But what's the point, man? They're just trying to make you like not get fucked up as fast. Like,
They don't
I
want
mean,
you on a sick one in Japan, bro. No,
I can see us going to Japan, get like a round of these, and like just like breaking them like on the side of the
yeah,
table, like just like what the hell is this, man?
ain't gonna
Oh,
have it. Ain't gonna have it.
uh, finally, since we are in the month of October, which is like one of my favorite months, man. If we're talking like holidays and all that, I love spooky season, bro. So, uh,
We all do. We all do. And as our loyal listeners know, last year we discussed our favorite Halloween candies. We may have another segment like that coming up as it gets closer to Halloween. But this popped up on X this week, and it made me think, Kamish, which Halloween movie is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
damn, man, there's so many to choose from, and like I'm a movie head, so I'm kind of geeking out over this one. But if I had to pinpoint one just off the top, I think I was like 13 when this movie came out. Prime, we've never seen anything like it, man. I have to pick The Ring for me for the time that it was and the age that I was, and seeing that in theaters, and then seeing the girl come out the TV, and like that
That
was
shit
like,
went, dude, yeah, that
yeah.
that hit.
Dude, that was like prime, like horror type ish. Like, I mean, just the thought of it, like, what do you mean? You watch a tape and then you got 7 days to live? Like, craziest shit, right?
That
So,
shit was wild. Yeah, and that was like unexpected when she came out the screen the first time you saw that. If you weren't spoiled on it, like her behind the screen haunting that motherfucker and then crawling out of the screen, that was some
yeah,
serious cinematic shit right there.
yeah,
Uh
that
yeah,
was
so for me, the thing that fucked me up, the scariest movie, a little bit of a backstory, but I know a lot of people thought this shit was scary back in the day. The Blair Witch Project, Kamish, I
oh,
watched on a Friday and then went camping in a tent that weekend. That was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. The OG Blair Witch Project, man, that fucked me up.
yo, I was 11. I had to check. That shit came out in 1999, and like, think about it. Uh this is way before social media, before any of this crap. And the marketing for the time was insane for this Blair Witch Project. If you remember, there was like maybe like a 30-second commercial that came on TV, and it was like based on a true story, based on
Yep.
actual events. And then like it gave you like the scariest freaking 30 seconds ever, like of just being lost in the woods, like in the dark, and then like, man, yeah, I totally that's a good one. I totally forgot about Blair Witch Project, man. But
That was
that's
a
awesome.
rough camping experience after that. Let me tell you that, man. I thought there was like
Yeah,
demons in my tent and shit.
I mean, there's a lot to choose from. Like Conjuring was up there on my list when you sent me this. And like a sleeper for me is this movie called The Descent. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a all
Yes,
girl
classic.
cast
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
go, they go cave exploring, and then you see some like, I don't even know what to
Spelunking,
describe them,
as they call
bro.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was brutal. That movie was actually crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, man. Let's get into this freaking redraft, man. I hope you're ready. Do you wanna do first? Let me present this screen really quick.
Do we have a digital coin flipper, or do you have a coin that's handy to go first? Or you know what?
uh
Um,
you know what? You could go first. That's fine. I'll let metrics go first. I'm
okay.
curious actually to see who. Okay, so before we get this started, we're just gonna go. We'll finish the wraparound only, right? We'll get to tie on the 10th pick. It's not really Ty's team, but we'll get to the 10th pick, and then we'll do whoever it lands on for the 10th pick. Just do 10 and 11, and we'll just call it that. We'll do the first 11 picks.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is a redraft. If we had to draft today, and hold on, before we start this, let me throw this question at you, Metrics. Um, would you ever like say next year, say we don't start the league until after week 4? How does that sit?
Not good, man, because it's completely different. There's a lot of guys who even just having injuries in the very near recent term, guys that we might have drafted like a Nico Collins,
Yeah.
right?
No, but I'm
Probably would have
saying
gotten
like,
drafted
ugh.
if we did this 2 days ago.
Yeah, exactly. So like, do you think, because there's actually, this is the first I've ever heard of this. I've actually heard of redraft leagues. I didn't know they existed. So these guys, they wait 3 to 4 weeks into the season, and then they hold their fantasy draft based off what they see for the year. And that's kind of interesting, man. It's kind of like a little curveball. I mean, don't you think? Like, do you think it would make the league more competitive that way?
For sure, it would make it more competitive because players like Jeremy's a very avid football fan. Let's put it that. Like he watches football, right? So he knows a lot of these fantasy guys before a lot of us do, but he's stuck because he's got to rely on the waiver system because he lost McCaffrey, right?
Yeah.
Lost his number one overall pick. So giving him an even playing field to go from right now, probably not a good look for the rest of the team. So yeah, it would definitely make the league more competitive. But having that
Yeah.
said, no, not for me. It's not for me.
All right. All right. Go ahead, Mark. I'm curious. The draft is starting today, right? We're all in draft room ready, baby. Ty's walking in screaming about his sleepers. It's draft day. We got some brews going. You're on the clock, man. Who is your number one overall pick today, Thursday, October 10th?
The number one overall pick is not the top scorer in fantasy at this current moment, but I believe has shown enough through the first 5 weeks, had outstanding games here or there, where he's going to have probably the season that ends up as running back one. So I'm taking Saquon Barkley, number one.
Hey, dang, Saquon with the number one overall pick. Now, if we look back at our draft, right? Saquon ended up going late first. Javi got him in the sixth, seventh. I don't know. Javi still got
Yeah,
him
somewhere in
first
the
round.
mid to late first. Yeah.
Still got him in the first round. I do think Javi really hit on his first round draft pick because a lot of us did not hit on this, and you'll see as we explain as we go through this. But for me, if Saquon is off the board, because honestly, I was on the same page with you. Saquon was going to be my pick. He was going to be my number one overall pick if I had it. If I'm in the 2 spot, there's still some running backs that are balling right now, man. We got Alvin Kamara, who's leading the league. Alvin Kamara is currently leading in fantasy points.
Yep.
Then we got Derrick Henry. who, man, every year I think this guy's knees are just gonna explode, and he just gives more. Like, just this guy just keeps giving us more. And I don't understand. He's a freak of nature, but I'm gonna pass on those two guys, given everything I've seen, because there's a guy that is, I believe, just getting started, man, and he's had it's Jamar Chase for me. I'm on the clock,
Jamar
baby.
Chase, man, and
Jamar
you've been
Chase.
hating on Jamar Chase too. I think just to get on Tyler's nerves, but
Yeah,
Jamar Chase is looking really good this season. I think people were a little bit scared by week one, where we didn't know for sure whether the quarterback was going to be healthy for the remainder of the season. Obviously, Burrow had a hard time picking up a water bottle in week one. People were getting a little bit too scared, but the offense in Cincinnati is running on all cylinders. I think Iwasovas, or however you say the rookie's name, he's good at spreading out the offense. They haven't even gotten T. Higgins back on the field yet, and already Jamar Chase is performing as the wide receiver one this season. I think that's a solid second overall pick.
Yes, sir. And just to end it with a little bit on Chase is that out of all the wide receivers, I know there's another stud up there with him, but his floor is very safe, but Chase's ceiling is through the fucking roof. And anybody that has a high ceiling like this, I love, because he's gonna give you those weeks where maybe he puts up 40, and that wins you your week. So I love that. Uh your next pick, though, metrics 3 overall. You're sitting here. What are we doing?
Yeah, I got to go with my boy Alex on this one. And as much as I want to draft Derrick Henry at this position, Alvin Kamara has had an outstanding start to the
Ooh.
season. In that offense with Derek Carr healthy, I know he's hobbled this week. They got Spencer Rattler starting, but I mean that may just be more targets for Alvin Kamara, who's had a really all-world season, has turned into the main piece in this offense in the way that they're using him, much like a Christian McCaffrey within the Shanahan offense. They're running almost every play through Kamara. They're keeping defenses honest by checking down passes to him, as well as running between the tackles. So Alvin Kamara had an outstanding start to the season, and I do think that he's going to have a great finish to the season as well. Give me Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, that guy has, like, he's on pace for an insane amount of receptions. It's like even on a game where I think against the Chiefs, I mean, they only put up 13 points. Derek Carr got hurt. He rushed 11 times, which is his lowest amount of the season. He only had 26 yards that game, but he had 8 targets out of the backfield, 6 receptions. Like, that's insane, man. A super Swiss Army knife, and the value. Do you think Alex got the best value?
I think so far. Yeah, I think he got it's hard to say because Kamara probably went what in the third, fourth. There's
I
some
think
other
he
guys that
he might have gone later.
maybe
I
later. I mean, wouldn't surprise me if it was later. But there has been some key pieces of a lot of the teams in this league that went in sixth, seventh round. You
Yeah.
know, so you got to look at those guys and look at like a value to the team type analysis to see. Some of these like where was Neighbors drafted in our drafts? He might get
Oof.
drafted in this
Neighbors was
top
in
10.
the 4th round, I believe, by
Yeah, I mean,
Ponch.
that's
Yeah.
a tremendous amount of value right there.
Yeah. And
Obviously, shouting out my own team, David Montgomery went incredibly late in our league, has scored a touchdown in every game he's played
Come
this year.
on.
yeah. And I mean, with that being said, man, I really just talked about this guy. I don't know how he keeps doing it. But if I was 4th overall, knowing what I know today, it's the man, Derrick Henry, bro. He's doing everything. He and, like, it's crazy because you can literally bottle this guy up for 4 quarters. Like, literally, it's overtime, and then he, like, breaks a super. How can he still run like this? And not only that, he already has a receiving touchdown on the season, which is like unheard of. I mean, Henry never gets those. So
Never.
he,
Usually gets one passing touchdown,
yeah.
as our Titans fan Alex would know. It seems like Derrick Henry always got at least one passing touchdown per year, but never very few reception touchdowns. But my next guy in this draft, is no surprise. He went in the first round, but did not go as high as guys that I drafted in the actual first round. Ended up going, I believe, as the third overall wide receiver drafted in our league behind both CeeDee Lamb, who I drafted, and Tyreek Hill. I'm taking Justin Jefferson. And
Yeah.
the reason is, I think, as I talked about both on this channel multiple times and privately amongst many people, all of you guys really, Sam Darnold has turned around this offense. Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback. Sam Darnold, with the right coaching and the right offense that fits his style of football, has been a great quarterback this year. Justin Jefferson has been performing at an all-world level, and I think as those guys continue to play together, look, they've only played together 5 weeks. He's going to continue to get better. I think Justin Jefferson is going to have an outstanding end to this season.
Yeah, man. Like just looking at the current draft slate right now, Barkley, of course, went in the first round. Jamar Chase technically went in the first round because that was Ty's first pick at the 10 spot. Kamara did not. Derrick Henry did not. Correct metrics. Did you grab him
No,
in the
no,
first?
second round. Okay,
It's
yeah,
second
CD
round.
Lamb.
So no, so Henry's moved up. Justin Jefferson, I think that's fair. He would still go in the same spot if we had the draft today. To be honest, man, I'm really surprised with Justin Jefferson. Like, I think he started the first 4 weeks, 4 straight touchdowns, and like your boy, man, Darnold, like you called it too before the season started, man. You said he was gonna ball out in this offense, and I just seeing Darnold really scared me off. From JJ, he was on my do not draft list, so um, that's crazy, man. That he's still that dominant and that productive with what he has, man. He's pretty much QB proof. Like start this guy wherever. Um, my next pick, and this is a guy who's just been he's been killing also, man. And I don't believe he was a first round draft pick. But Kyron Williams, man, he's been really productive. Uh he has been dominating also as of late. Like he's getting lots of attempts. I think he's averaging close to 20 carries a game.
High teens, low
Yeah.
20s. Like,
And he's
Kamish, can you turn off the clock on this?
oh, you could hear
It's
it, my
ticking
bad.
in the background. Yeah, yeah. No, it's all good.
uh
But yeah, I mean, Kyron Williams' attempts from scrimmage are in the top 3, 4 in the league at this point.
Jeez. Sorry, couldn't figure that out.
Go off.
Yeah, Kyron has been I believe Mike snagged him up on the way back in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And I don't have time to go back and look, but yeah, Kyron, even without can you imagine how much better Kyron's gonna be like later in the season as Cooper Cup gets healthy, as Puka comes back? I mean, he's doing all this now. I can't imagine when those two guys come back, and it's really going to take defenses from stacking against him, and um, you know it's really going to open it up more for him. I think he's actually has it if he doesn't get hurt. I think he has a strong chance to finish in the RB5 for sure by the end of the season.
Yeah, and when we look at 6 weeks ago, people were talking about the fact that this guy was returning kicks during the preseason, and
Yeah.
that's not something you want out of a starting running back. There was a lot of leagues out of there. Our league may have as well. I'm not sure if perhaps I drafted him with one of the last picks, but a lot of leagues out there were drafting Blake Corum because they
Yeah.
thought that he was going to be the starter over Kyron Williams. So the fact
Mike
that
used
Kyron
his
Williams,
waiver.
yeah, the fact that Kyron Williams is balling out as well as he has to start this season, he's really kind of shitting on all of us that really did not think that highly of him going into the season. So outstanding value for Big Mike there, getting him as late as he did. For my next guy, man, I mean, this is a tough. This is where it gets a little bit tougher, and because what it was this 8th or 9th overall? Am I 8th?
This is seventh overall.
7th. Okay, I have a guy in mind who I want in 9th since the commission is going to have 8, 10, and 11. So I'm thinking a little bit strategically here with my draft, but it's something that I think I think I'm going to stick with it, and I think I'm going to go with my gut here and give me Malik Neighbors in this pick
Oh,
because I
he
do
was.
think his volume has been insane. He's, I believe, the one of the highest targeted wide receivers in the league, along with Deontay Johnson, who I just traded to the commish, as we know. Um, but Malik Neighbors, he's looked. We talk about a quarterback-proof wide receiver. I mean, there is a reason why they drafted this guy as high as they did because Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic, as he's called on the East Coast, has been nothing but trash this season. And Malik Neighbors has still managed to put up basically top 5, top 6 wide receiver numbers with an awful quarterback. I just every game I watch, he's open and he's making catches, and the ball is always getting thrown to him. Some of it's the eye test, but I love Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, man, Malik has been a target machine, like absolute machine. I think there was one game where he had 18 targets. Who has 18 targets? I mean, Garrett Wilson the other day, Rogers off the shrooms threw 22 times to Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
But speaking of that, like going into that, it's funny how Brees and Bijan, like I'll say it right now, Brees and Bijan are not making this top 11, at least for me. Like
No,
if we're drafting today, they are well
no, I mean,
outside.
and you just fire the head coach, who, as our listeners know, both of the pod hosts are big fans of Robert Saleh. I think he's a great head coach. They were 2-3, but you're going to fire him because, by all reports, Aaron Rodgers was given the option. All the reports out of New York are saying that Robert Saleh was taking Aaron Rodgers' boy Nathaniel Hackett off of play calling, and then the owner Woody Johnson went to Rodgers, told him this. Rodgers said, "If you take Hack off of play calling, then I'm out. Basically, going to sit out." So instead, the owner fires Robert Saleh, who's there's not been a problem with the defense of the New York Jets. The
Yeah.
problem has been the offense of the New York Jets. So that's, I mean, get me on a whole different pedestal for how bad of a decision that was. But yeah, no, I'm avoiding New York Jets. I'm fading New York Jets for the rest of the season, just because that's a team in disarray.
Yeah, for sure. This next guy for me, um, and metrics, you tell me if you think this guy deserves a spot, but I certainly do. We're looking at the running backs that are off the board currently. And my boy James Cook, man, he's having an amazing season. Uh, he currently sits, I think he's in the RB top 5 right now currently. Um, he's what I love about James Cook is that he could get the receptions going when he needs to, but it's the fact that this year that this was non-existent last year is that James Cook is actually getting goal line carries, ladies and gentlemen. And those goal line carries have made this guy like score a ton of points and being consistent. He's putting up, he's averaging close to 20 fantasy points a game, which is really good. That offense, it's crazy watching the Bills because a lot of people counted the Bills out. A lot of people counted Josh Allen out. Um, Josh Allen, by the way, has yet to throw an interception. This guy threw like 15 interceptions last year. He's protecting the ball. He's not rushing in the end zone as much. James Cook is getting the volume, and I like him to go in the first round. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, look, if you look at his season so far, he's had an outstanding season, but for one game against Baltimore, and that's a game that they were basically behind the entire game.
Yeah.
That's not going to be something that Buffalo is going to encounter very often. Being, did they win or did they blow out that game?
No,
It was
yeah,
lopsided,
they
right?
got their ass kicked that game.
They got their. I think it was like 10-35,
Yeah.
something like that.
I think that I
I
don't
forget the
think
final
Josh
score.
Allen saw the fourth quarter
Right.
that game.
Yeah. So it's like, outside of those games, which are few and far between, James Cook has had basically a great season so far with attempts from scrimmage, so on and so forth. So, yeah, I think where that's at right now makes sense. Man, so this is the one I knew with the ninth overall pick, and it's going to be a hot topic of discussion right here.
You better not take my boy.
This is gonna be hot. All right. Reports are that this gentleman is coming back in week 7.
No way this guy makes it. There is
That's
no way.
the reports. As all of you know, the biggest Shanna stan in the world, your boy, loves Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, the whole Shanahan family tree. If this guy plays, he's the best player in football.
Wait. Hold
How
up.
do we
I'm losing you.
pass?
Something's happening. It's out of my
You hear me,
control.
Kamish?
If you guys are still here,
Oh, I got you. Do you got
waiting
me?
for Metrics. There he is.
Okay.
Metrics.
I had
You
you.
with
I
me?
don't know what's going on. Yeah. You can hear me?
Metrics.
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
All right, I think we're good now.
Are we good?
Metrics.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Metrics.
No. Yeah.
Okay,
All
I
right,
got you now.
Okay, thank God. Give me fucking Christian
Oh
McCaffrey.
my God,
Forget
this has got to be
forget
the
all the
worst
spoilers. He's the best player in football when he's on the
email.
field. Yes or no?
Oh, I got you now. You good?
Christian McCaffrey is the best player in football when he's on the field. Yes or no?
Yes.
If you're gonna have 7 weeks of value with him, give me Christian McCaffrey the 9th overall pick. I love that value there.
Dang. Right there though?
Yes, sir. That's a league winner.
That's wild. You a wild boy, Metrics. And just I want to apologize. I think we lost each other for a second. I was trying to hold it down, so I might have been overlapping you because I literally couldn't see you. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah,
So
same issue. Bootleg
maybe
Wi-Fi, I think, on my part.
maybe when we download it, it's gonna have us like like probably all over each other. But my bad. So McCaffrey, dang, that's honestly, I thought you were gonna take one of my guys here since I got 2 picks. I'm gonna go ahead and both of these guys are gonna be low key kind of controversial in my eyes, but um, like, it's really hard to not take one of those studs because like you said that he's a league winner. About Christian McCaffrey, he could win you your league. Brees Hall and Bijan here, like either one of those guys could turn it around.
Give me Bijan there over Brees with what's
Absolutely.
going on in New York.
So,
but yeah,
look, I know, me personally, I'll start it off by saying I just traded Bijan because, good God, man. Let me say a little something about Bijan right now is that he, through 5 weeks last year, Bijan had better numbers with Arthur Smith than he does today. His rushing yards are down through the first 5 games compared to last season, and his receptions and receiving yards are down through the first 5 games compared to last year. So definitely frustrating, man. But a lot of you guys out there, I know I'm not the only Bijan shareholder. I do have a share in another league still. So me trading to Ty was just to kind of, I dumped off a share, man. I dumped. I don't want
diversify
too
your
many
bonds.
shares. Yes, but what I'm pairing with Bijan here, and this hasn't happened in a while, metrics. But this guy's getting me excited for the QB position again, man.
Oh boy,
Lamar Jackson on the turnaround here.
where was he when Tyler needed him? All those years, Ty kept drafting him. But yes, Lamar Jackson had an insane start to the season.
This guy,
really just a fucking insane quarterback performance so far.
man, like he can even give you like a crappy game passing, right? There was one game where he had 182 yards and only 1 touchdown through the air. But the man had 14 rushing attempts for 87 yards in the TD. And then week 1, he opens with 16 rushing attempts. 16 for 122 yards. This guy's floor right now is looking like 25 points. That's a floor. He just came off of almost a 40-point game against Cincinnati. his schedule is so friendly down the stretch. And even now, he's got Washington, Tampa Bay, Cleveland. Like a lot of these guys are horrible on defense. It's like all green for Lamar right now. But um, it's been a long time since we've seen a QB. I know back in the day when we had like Peyton Manning, Joaquin was like first overall pick, like drafting
Always,
Peyton.
every year.
Prime Mahomes wouldn't make it past the first round. Even Josh Allen was, I don't know. The league kind of got tired of drafting QBs because of the value. Of course, you with Jaden Daniels, who's a top 3 QB right now, and you got that guy so late that people are kind of scared to take a shot. But I'm taking a shot here, man. I'm taking a shot on Lambjack, and I'll let you get one more pick and just finish this off, and then we can
All
move
right,
on to the
fuck.
league talk,
Give me my
man.
boy then. If we're talking, give me Jaden Daniels. Let me just say
Damn.
that. Give me. Just because I want to talk about the kid. Really, Jaden Daniels was drafted in our league in had to be like the 13th or 14th round. I drafted him. He was, I believe, my third or fourth quarterback drafted because I drafted Dak obviously to be the starter, drafted Caleb ahead of him, and then got my boy Jaden Daniels. And a funny thing when I was preparing for this show, Kamish, players who are currently available to drop can drop players include Derrick Henry. Right now, if I wanted to, I could drop Derrick Henry. I could
That's
drop
insane.
Dak Prescott, who's had a pretty good start to the season. But one player who is on the cannot drop list after 5 weeks at the quarterback position, Jaden Daniels, already made his way to the cannot drop list. That guy, I mean, you look at the advanced stats, he was the only player basically in the history of the league to do 2 back-to-back games with possessions in which they didn't punt once. They scored in some format, whether kicking or by touchdown. Jaden Daniels, man, that might end up being a league winning pick for a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, man. I think if we definitely had the draft today, a lot of these QBs, I think at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 QBs would be gone by the third round, like in the
Yep.
first 3 rounds. It'd definitely be a QB league. But that was great. That was great, man. I'm thinking about a redraft. Who knows, man? Let's spice it up a little bit,
Yeah,
Give
we'll
give
spice
people
it
a
up.
chance.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we were gonna do a little breakdown of the teams, but I think we got through a lot of our team talk there. So we're gonna save our power rankings for next week. Keep you guys guessing out there. Try and fix these technical issues. My apology for the bootleg ass Wi-Fi I got over here in Anaheim. I think something's going on downstairs, but shout out to the league. We'll have your league updates next week in addition to our new set of power rankings.
Yeah, man. Next week we'll be back. Like Metric said, we'll have power rankings, and I know you guys want more league talk. We definitely have a solid amount of league talk for you guys next week. But honestly, man, I'm wiped. Mark is wiped. I got to get ready. I got to do laundry. I'm going to Dodger game 5 tomorrow, baby. Go blue. I'll be
The
there. Home run
Dodgers. I mean,
seats.
before we end off, because I know a lot of these motherfuckers listening are Dodgers fans too, and like both of your pod mates here have been watching all of these Dodgers games from basically the first pitch to the ninth inning, which is why we didn't record the last 2 nights. So if we could get a little segment on Dodgers talk, Kamish, who do you
Yeah.
like in this game 5?
Oh, come on, man. You know what? I am.
Yamamoto is pitching for the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, Yamamoto should. I mean, they haven't officially released it. Tomorrow, midday, probably by like 11 a.m., they're gonna drop it. We know you Darvish is pitching for the Padres. But honestly, man, this is like highly motivating for Yamamoto. In the beginning of the season, we opened overseas, the Japan series, and San Diego rocked this guy's stuff. And then he started for us in this series. We won. No, they started game 2, right? Yamamoto
Yep.
started game 2.
I think Flaherty started one. I think.
Yeah, that's right. He switched them last minute. in order for Yamamoto to go to game 5 if it was necessary. But honestly, man, I think he needs it for the confidence. Yamamoto, I mean, I don't think he'll go 5 innings. If he can come out and give us like a solid 3 or 4, man, a solid 3 or 4, then it's bullpen game again. And I think we can squeeze this out, man. I really hope we can squeeze this out. Uh,
Yep.
it's
Yep,
gonna
and we'll
be
see. I
intense.
mean, maybe throw in Flaherty in there to eat a couple of innings as well. But my prediction, I think the Dodgers will win as well. No
You got a
surprise
score?
there. But I do think that no, I think Otani's going to get 3 hits tomorrow. That's my prediction.
Ooh, you think Otami's homering tomorrow? What are we talking? Is this turning into a price pick segment? What
Oh,
are we
maybe
talking about here?
one might be a homer, but I think he goes 3 for 4, 3 for 5, somewhere in
Three
that
for
range.
four. Jeez, man.
I think he's going to have a big game because they need to cover up this motherfucker's gambling debts.
Low scoring, high scoring. What are you
High
calling for
scoring,
tomorrow?
high
High
scoring.
scoring.
Five,
Oh man.
5-4 maybe.
By the
Like
way,
that.
if the MLB is rigged, like I think it is, they are pushing hard for this Yankees Dodgers World Series. Like we've been wanting it for a long time. All right. I want to see Judge against Otani. The Yankees, by the way, beat the Royals today. They are advancing to their championship series. So bring on the Mets, baby. I hope we can play the Mets because honestly, if it's the Mets, I don't want to, knock on wood,
I like our odds.
but I
I
like
like
it.
our odds. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
All right.
But
All right, Kamish. Let's go Doyers to all our
let's go.
Dodgers fans out there. I know you all be watching. And good luck in your fantasy endeavors this weekend.
Yes, sir. Out.